in the top lane for Elventus, absolutely having a heyday, starting off the game with 2v1 outplays is pretty much the dream for any top laner, and the rest of the game seemed to fall naturally into their favor. And I think what really helped push Elventus to kind of that play style of being pretty clean overall, though kudos to the One Brain Boys for finding a way to keep that game close. Overrush being back in the bot lane has absolutely made a world of difference. Last week, a lot of freezes going against Utsumi and Megan, but Overrush on this Senna pick was absolutely phenomenal. They did end up going the fasting Senna route. And because they were able to manage their waves in a bit better of a fashion, I think it was even just before 30 minutes, Overrush was on close to 140 souls, which is just absolutely ridiculous. We do have the second draft, though, getting started up here as we're just flying through the band's idea.
Yeah, can't say I'm surprised there. You do have that Hecarim ban coming in real quick here from the side of the One Brain Boys. That Hecarim was really kind of something to be in awe of, really getting a really, really strong early game there alongside the
Hmm.
Volley Bear pick that was sent up on the top side of the map as well. So, going to be taking that one out of the hands here for Elvin to Slime. And Seraphine also going to get the ban here. And I'm pretty sure that we have seen Seraphine banned in almost every single game tonight, which feels real bad for my bingo card. But I need that one. I need that one, but not today.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Gragas pick, though. I don't know if that's on your bingo card idea. Unfortunately, not on mine, but still happy to see the champion once again make an appearance on the Rift. So flexible. We think maybe it's gonna go into the top lane where it's been really strong, but Utsumi with such a great performance with the champion in the support role really speaks to how early on it can be such a valuable pick. The Senna going to be locked in once again for Overrush, and I wonder if Johnny Esports is even going to have a response to this pick. He's been very willing, I think, going into this season to pick lanes that are just going to constantly shove in, and the Jinx not really lining up with this that kind of identity in mind. I wonder if we'll see some of the strong ADCs that we've seen come up, maybe a Sivir comes up, or even the Tristana that we saw in the previous series, I think could make a potential good slot in for Johnny Esports
And
with the Senna pick.
we actually get the Lulu here, Mac. That's gonna be locked up in here for the One Brain Boys, interestingly
Hmm.
enough. So still could be flexed in maybe some kind of weird role. You could see it up towards the top side. We could see the Gragas in the support role. We don't really know yet. So, yeah, interesting draft right now. I do like how the One Brain Boys are drafting, kind of keeping an air of mystery
Yep.
about where exactly these champions are going to be going, which, yeah, I know at the end of the day does make it a little bit harder for Elventus Lime to kind of respond to some of these lane assignments. But so far, some really, really
Hmm.
safe picks in the Scion and the Galio. Obviously, Galio, a perfectly fine flex pick as well, can be sent towards mid or bottom as well. So both these teams kind of hiding the entirety of their cards that they've
Oh
got in their
yeah.
hands.
The Yone, I think, was banned last game. That's going to make a reappearance. Yet was banned in the second phase by the One Brain Boys. They're thinking potentially it's going to be a Galio support, which I really wouldn't be too surprised about. Again, another flexible option. Lime being on the red side are going to have that 10th and final pick available to them to kind of finish out their composition, as they're taking their time with this second phase of bans. The bird is the word, though, as Anivia is going to be taken off the board. They're maybe thinking Lulu support, Echo in the jungle. But I mean, we just saw Bread Sheeran have a tremendous game on the Echo. I gotta be feeling like the One Brain Boys are gonna put him right back where he started, because he was pretty much, I think, the only shining light for the One Brain Boys in that first match.
Yeah, it really was, and unfortunately, the brightness of that shining light maybe a little dim in comparison to the popping off that the volley bear kind of had up there towards the top
Uh-huh.
side. So, unfortunately, it's really just how it goes. You get one lane that just gets monstrously, disastrously ahead, and
Mhm.
that's pretty much all she wrote. But the Kazakhs here gonna be picked up for the jungler of Elventus Lime, and that counter pick gonna be saved here. For the solo lane or the support, again, Galio still could be
Ooh,
flexed towards mid or sup, but Sivir gonna get locked in here in a nice little pickup. I do like this one quite a bit for a Johnny Esports. Gonna be piloting that the old uh the old sand lady. Sand lady. I don't know what to call her. I don't have a creative name for that one there. But Lucian gonna be picked up there. Or, ooh,
wow.
mid lane pick possibly, yes. So quite a draft coming out here from One Brain Boys, I've got to say.
Well, now they've kinda locked themselves into a
Mhm.
pick here, they do still have a lot of flexibility, though. I guess the Lucian could go top lane potentially if the
Mhm.
mid lane really just it put gets a bad matchup set up for the Lucian, but he really doesn't have too many of those in the solo lane.
Oh.
Volibear for notes is gonna be given right back up to him. Advice for one brain boys, maybe just don't gank him. Don't poke the bear when he's angry. Not's very, very angry in
Mhm.
game number one. But I want to go back to the Sivir pick that I talked about earlier. My crystal ball strikes once at least for the stream. That always makes me a little happy just because I think Johnny Esports, he is now potentially going to be in control of this lane. How is he going to be managing it? But
Mhm.
usually just partner shoving on the silver pick. Let's all be honest here. Not too much to think about. He's just going to be throwing it right into the wave, and that's going to make things a little bit more difficult for Overrush. Let's see maybe if the one brain boys can try to limit that fasting.
Yep, no, absolutely. I do like the super pick here. If it is a Galio support, it does provide you with a little bit of protection there. It could also be the Scion support, which I would not be surprised to see at all. But the spell shield is a really, really nice touch, just to be able to avoid some of that extra CC that can lock down that champion, and kind of provide her a little bit more safety to play aggressively for the waves. So I do like the pick a lot into this composition. Still going to be curious to see exactly where all of these champions do line up. Notes there in the top lane. We do expect the Volibear to go his way. It will be Gragas in the top lane for the One Brain Boys, and it will indeed be the Volibear matchup there. So, build Diff Boy
Ooh.
gonna put the set away. Gonna put the set way up high on the shelf. That's some top shelf drink right there.
Mhm.
We're bringing the Gragas top.
Yeah, and this is gonna be just a really solid tank for the One Brain Boys. That's what Built Diff Boy has really been excelling at so far throughout this season, and it even adds in a little bit of potential playmaking potential, kinda like we talked about in the last draft. A whole lot of damage coming through from the One Brain Boys, and I wonder if they caught Elventus Slime a little bit sleeping with this Galio pick because Brett Sheeran has a huge opportunity to make a big statement for the One Brain Boys. They may have got taken down in game number one due to kind of misplaying that early game, but now you're getting it's just like the Vayne matchup, right? That we saw earlier. It didn't go so well for crits. I'm thinking the Lucian should be a little bit easier to execute because you get the press the attack proc so much easier. And now you're giving Red Sheeran a winning lane. Let's see what he's going to be able to do with that.
Yeah, absolutely excited to see it. Always do love to see Bread Sheeran kind of ducking and diving here on these champions.
Mhm.
Never really gives us something that isn't exciting, I should say, in the
Mhm.
games that I have seen him play in. Always kind of flying by the edge of his seat. Feast or famine, as they say. You could call him the
Mhm.
Jizuke of the mid league. He's either out there holding the flag, a way, way high ahead of the pack, or it's an int. So gotta love the guy here, and I love the confidence to be able to pick up these champions, and really kind of throw
Ooh.
caution to the wind. But it is the
Mhm.
Scion down in the bottom side of the map here, so again, we don't see support Scion all that often, but again, I'm not really surprised that we are getting it.
Yep.
Especially in a game with this matchup between One Brain Boys and Elventus Line that we kind of expected would throw some curveballs our way, Mac Dewey. So exciting to see this one.
Yeah, this is actually a support pick that I should have been talking about a little bit earlier, but I'll capitalize now with for the time being. This Scion Senna combination, if Johnny Esports or Nempo, they might get caught off guard by what these two can do in lane. So the strategy for those who watch LEC, I believe it was G2 who pulled off this combination, making its way into mid league. We've got some spice here too, or really just some imitation, and it's the most sincere form of flattery, really. What Senna's able to do, W a minion, right? And the W snare from the last embrace it takes a couple seconds, right? Well, in those couple seconds of wind up time, Scion can send the minion flying towards the enemy champions. And if it actually
That's
does
funny.
connect, it's the circle, not the minion. They'll get instantly snared, just giving so much more range to the Senna snare. It will be really fun to see if Elventus Slime can kind of pull this combination off because it does take a lot of communication. So Overrush and Atsumi are going to have to be on the same page.
Yep, absolutely. And you know what? If that last game that we saw from them was any indication, I think that there's no doubt that they will be on the same page here again. You know, watching Itsumi pilot that Gragas and getting some of those interrupts on the rel, you know, doing exactly what it needed to do on that champion counter pick, I thought was really, really nice to see it. And you know, now picking up the Senasai bot lane, you know, which has some of
Mhm.
those unique interactions as you had pointed out, I think it's really, really exciting to just see from perspective here. But you know what, Mac? Taking a look at these compositions, if you had to go out there and put your predictions on the line, who are you going to go with?
Ooh. Mac thoughts. Let's see. One Brain Boys. I have a lot of faith in them as a team, but I'm looking at my watch idea, and I think you know what time it is. I think it's time for the miracle run. I think it's
It's
Lime's
one
time to
time.
shine. Let's go, Elventus with Overrush back on Senna and a whole lot of tanks to support that champ. I got to give my prediction to them.
All right. Well, with the predictions out there on the tables, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Excellency Mid League Week 6. And we're getting ready to rock and roll out onto Summoner's Rift. Ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. We will see you after the break, and we will hear back from Chief Chirpa and Gungeon on Summoner's Rift.
Welcome back to the Rift, everyone. We are here with game number 4 of the night, Elventus Lime versus One Brain Boys. We saw a great fiesta of a game 1 with so much back and forth, and we are here with game 2 now. I am once
And
again joined by the one, the only Gungeon. We already see maybe a 5-stack invade.
yeah, it looks like they're gonna go for something here, and they do have the flash E from the. Yep, they're
The
going for it.
flashy.
Oh no, the silence.
No, the side. I guess the
Oh.
knockup. Getting that is so close.
Yeah, they're just gonna dissuade it. They end up using the heal from Overrush, so it's not that big of a deal because Johnny Esports and Nempo probably can't really force too much in that level 2 situation. So it's not gonna be that big of a loss for the side of Elventus. And you mentioned it. Game 1, Elventus had a little bit. They were so far ahead early game, but in the mid game, there were situations where they weren't too clean around their TP flanks, too clean around a lot of their team fighting, and it kind of gave One Brain Boys a little bit of a window, as slim as it was, to kind of try to play back into the game. But eventually, Knots was just able to dive in, just crush the backline, and they ended up ending it at around 35 minutes into game number 1. As we go into game number 2, I like what One Brain Boys has done. They are putting probably their best performing player from game number 1, which was Bread Sheeran, into this very aggressive Lucian into Galio matchup. It's a great matchup for Lucian, something that he can really bully out, but he does need to be careful because, again, if Warrior Guy ever gets an engage off and Professor Claps is nearby, he probably insta-dies.
Yeah, do we want to make that same bet? How many times will Bread Sheeran get assassinated?
I'm going with 0. I think Bredshin will play this game out properly. I think the cleanse was smart by him, as it will kind of dissuade a lot of the gank potential. And I actually expect Bredshin to get a solo kill himself this game. I'll count by 10 minutes, he will have at least 1 solo kill on Warrior Guy.
All right. Well, we will see, chat. A little bit of an engage from Built Diff Boy in notes, but down bot lane, Overrush is
level
taking
2.
on solo. Heal coming out from Johnny Esports. They're going in pretty deep. Johnny Esports taking quite a bit of damage right now. So is Overrush.
They weren't level 2 right there, and they just kind of got caught out by Overrush and Utsumi, but the trade was pretty favorable for both sides, as Overrush had already healed as well. It looks like they're trying to get something from Professor Claps in the mid lane, but not going to be able to get it. And Bredshin kind of just walks away, having to expend the flash.
Yeah, not the worst thing. You still have your dash, but Notes taking a lot of damage in the top lane. Built Diff Boy being built different on this Olaf, or Gragas.
Claps is investing a lot of time in this situation. Oh, bot lane.
Ignite onto Overrush. That may just be a kill. Is it going to be enough? But Professor Claps is here. Kha'Zix's free 6 does not do too much. And we are getting producers yelling in our ear that it's not.
Yeah. The mispronunciation sometimes, especially when we get into the later stages of the cast, are a little bit rough, but Knots is having, again, he had a great game 1 performance, had solo killed his laner, killed the enemy jungler, and then did it pretty much again and again and again and again. So we do see, again, a little bit more of a cooldown in game number 2 as we have Built Diff Boy on that tank Gragas. I don't expect too much aggression to go on from Knots as Built Diff Boy, but there is going to be a gank up here. Again, Professor Claps is actually wasting a lot of time here in terms of just overall jungle pathing, because you see that King's Entourage has already cleared his pretty much entire topside jungle, was able to get his red buff as well. So in terms of just overall pathing, with Professor Claps not being able to get much in these ganks that he tried to get in level 3, King's Entourage does have the advantage and will be able to kind of get back on the map a lot quicker with his camps respawning faster as well.
For sure, and Knots being pretty low on health right now, going for the engage, belly slam, getting Built Diff Boy right out of there. That is the safety of Gragas right there.
And I'm surprised that Built Diff Boy's not just honestly eating into Knots. Knots is trying to force us way too hard, but I've played Gragas top. He does a lot of damage for a tank. It is very surprising to see, but if Knots overplays that a little bit too much, he could end up getting solo killed himself. But bot lane, again, there is a freeze for the side of Elventus Lime as they're trying to just keep this bot lane down and out. There is King's Entourage down there, so he is trying to make a little bit of a play, but again, this freeze is so kind of stacked up. They're going to go for it.
They're going for it. Overrush popping the Curse to the Black Mist. Does use heal, but the triple knock from Utsumi. King's Entourage grabbing the root. Johnny Esports uses a preemptive spell shield, and King's Entourage being taken down really low.
Yeah, they get them low, but there's not enough damage from the side of Elventus, so King's Entourage is able to walk out. And honestly, that play is honestly just pretty good for the side of One Brain Boys. They needed to be able to break that freeze because it felt like Johnny Esports and Nempo were kind of just getting frozen out by this Senna and Scion bot lane. This bot lane is now just going to kind of reset into position, but you have to say, in terms of fasting Senna, Scion is probably one of the best targets to fast for, as he gets so just ginormously tanky, and the amount of engage potential he does have with claps, with Warrior Guy being able to kind of Galio ulti in. I really like the Senna Scion bot lane, and even with that interaction that MacDui was mentioning with the Scion E on the Senna W.
Yeah, I do think one little counterplay that over Utsumi, excuse me, but there is a fight going on mid lane. But what Utsumi and Johnny Esports can do is that if Johnny Esports spell shields too early, a little bit of a miss, EW. There was an attempt.
Yeah, there was an attempt, and you got to give it to that. But again, that was definitely a little bit of an eagle. Tried to go for the hole-in-one, but wasn't able to get anything done. We are going to see Professor Claps try to get that early dragon here, but he should probably be spotted out if King's Entourage goes for it, but he might just go for the gank bot side again.
Yep,
And
Johnny
again,
Esports popping the spell shield. Not going to be there for Force the Heal. TP is canceled by the Gragas. And that is just a Drake for nothing over to Elventus.
Yeah, good cancel by the side of Built Diff Boy, but again, this is kind of a tale of two inefficient junglers. I don't like the pathing from both of these junglers. They keep trying to force out a lot of these ganks onto the same lane, but they're carry junglers. You pick Echo and you pick Kha'Zix to get leads and carry with just the farm advantage, and by pathing inefficiently, it'll kind of negates the strength of that champion, especially early on. Like, if you have Echo and if you have Kha'Zix, you kind of want to be just cycling your camps as fast as possible, getting as much of a gold advantage, and then turning it into a lead as you get your first core items. But the inefficient pathing of both Professor Claps and King's Entourage has kind of caused both of these champions to kind of become a little bit inefficient, but this mid lane might just be a death.
Yeah,
Oh.
Bread Sheeran using the cleanse,
No?
but Bread Claps not having the isolation damage will just be a disengage.
I like Bread Claps as a name. Just Bread Claps. I think that both of the two calls that I've loved tonight from you, Chief, are Butt Twist and Bread Claps. I think those are just out of context, are just perfect for this cast. There's going to be a little bit of a play on the top side. This Nempo is up here with King's Entourage, but they're not going to be able to get too much on Professor Claps, except just being able to take that top side jungle. And Built If Boy is super far ahead in this top side in terms of a health lead. He might just try to kill off Knots here.
Yeah.
Well,
One thing that I would like to point out, being a Kha'Zix player, I really do not like Kha'Zix taking W evolve first. You always want to be taking Q evolve first. Gives you the most damage. If you want to be effective in this mostly squishy team composition that is One Brain Boys, you need to be going Q first.
oh no, Sion's just going to ulti.
Yeah,
Flash?
you can't run away from that first
Oh no, he
blood.
doesn't even have flash. Doesn't even have flash, and Utsumi just ulti battering rams into Johnny Esports, picking up the first blood for Elventus, as they also are able to pick up 2 plates in the bot side. They do kind of respond with it on the side of One Brain Boys, with that Rift Herald being taken at about 9 minutes. But if they're making that play, Johnny Esports needs to be, or someone on the side of One Brain Boys needs to tell Johnny to just back off, give over the plates. You don't want to give over the kill plus the tower plate gold, because at this point, it is just advantage Elventus.
Oh, completely agree with you. Nempo was not there to assist, but what
Watch
could
the bot
she
side.
do? Ooh, this is going to be pretty cool. Ooh, the beautiful
Oh, they get
root.
the combo.
They get the combo, but what are they going to get out of it? Just a little bit of damage onto Johnny Esports, some damage onto Nempo. Nempo down to about half HP already. Does have a pot that he can use. Professor Claps down here in the bot side, clearing out that control ward. Johnny Esports spotting him out. Does not want anything to do with the Kha'Zix.
Oh, looks like there's gonna be a gank on the top side as well with King's Entourage. He does have the Rift Herald, so they might just look to push the wave in, stack it up, and then just drop the Rift Herald and break top side for Built Diff Boy, as they'd already committed the TP as well. And in terms of just, this is just a game of two, this is just a game of two lane states, as a lot of the focus from the side of Elventus is going to that bot side, while One Brain Boys is kind of just saying, we're going to play around top side, we're going to get Built Diff Boy this lead, and use a lot of the advantage that we got in this early game to kind of send this Gragas really far ahead versus Knots.
Yup. While this is all happening, topside, Professor Clap stealing away the red side
he might
jungle.
die.
Not taking a lot of damage. Forced to use his Q right out of there. The culling just barely not going to be enough. The Stormbringer is not enough. Red here and under tower tanks almost enough turret shots to die. But Warrior Guy in this mid lane, duking it out with Nempo. That was pretty big for the side of One Brain Boys getting that kill.
And I love that play from the side of One Brain Boys. Knots just kind of assumed that they were going to kind of give up on that play. Ooh, they're going for it.
Yeah, and this is where not having Q evolve is so big. You cannot get that damage in these 1v1s.
No, you're 100% right. If you're going for Q, again, W evolve Kha'Zix in some situation may be situationally right, but in this situation where there's so many squishies on the side of One Brain Boys, like, there's nobody on the side of One Brain Boys that is really stacking any sort of resist. You might get caught out here.
Maybe. Lightning is going to come down. Lightning and the thunder, but not going to be enough. Oh, wait, I can get copyright strike for that.
No, no.
No! Unstop the ultimate coming out from Scion. Next Drake is up right now. The taunt lands onto the Echo. Galio doing quite a bit of damage. Is going for more of a supportive route. Echo ultimate being used as well as the Enlarge from Nempo.
And that is a whole on this flank here.
Oh, Knots coming in. Looking for some sort of flank, but gets spotted out by that ward. Built Diff Boy is not here. Drake will be started and pulled out right now. Not too sure if this is a play right now.
There's a lot of ultis missing on both sides, so it is going to be a little bit of a clustered fight. But again, Built Diff Boy does have his first item, so he does a lot of damage, but he's just getting CC'd.
Again, CC'd set Bridge here being in sound. Solo Built Diff Boy taking so much damage. The hero's entrance being used to spread everyone out thin. Knots grabbing the kill onto Bridge here. And Overrush hitting that W onto Johnny Esports, but the flash and the spell shield gets Johnny right out of there.
What a taunt by Warrior Guy, getting a 4-man taunt into Senna ulti, and that just almost obliterated that team fight. It was super close to being almost an ace, but great play by the side of Elventus to just combo so well. They are going to bring the TP from Knots. Oh, actually from Warrior Guy to secure the dragon. He's going for it.
They steal the Drake again. Johnny Esports going in. Professor Claps being nicking on solo. Shirelli's Battle Song being used by Warrior Guy. King's Entourage may not be able to get out of this one, but Nempo also being taken out solo. Q's Winds of War will not hit. King's Entourage getting out of there at 200 HP.
King's Entourage makes the great escape, and it does end up being the dragon, the mountain dragon for the side of One Brain Boys. It still was, again, a not clean team fight for the side of One Brain Boys. They tried to get the engage out, but just got CC locked by the Galio, the Scion, and then the Senna ulti kind of layering on top for the damage. But they do end up picking the dragon due to a great steal from King's Entourage. So in terms of just the team fight, kind of evens out, as there's only now just a 300 gold lead for the side of Elventus with the 1-to-1 dragon split.
Yeah. One thing that I really am not liking about One Brain Boys composition that I think is going to show, and we've already talked about this a little bit, is their lack of a tanky frontline. The tankiest person on their team is this Gragas, and Gragas is going full AP right now, has that Night Harvester, may go some more defensive items, but you're still not going to have this huge frontline like a Volibear, like a Scion, like a Galio.
Yeah, and again, it's good in terms of just laning. It's good in terms of if you want to play these team fights out in this skirmishing way. But as this game turns further and further into just 5v5 comp fights, I have to give it to the side of Elventus, because they have such strong tanks with the Volibear, the Galio, and the Scion in the front lines, plus Senna just kind of layering damage, and she is going for that hyper damage build with the Kraken Slayer into probably the Rage Blade as well. So as the team fights kind of wear on, we will see the lack of a tank coming through, but right now it is paying off dividends for the side of One Brain Boys, while we do have a pause for the side of Elventus.
You know, one of the things on the bingo sheets was a paused game, so I knew it was going to happen sometime.
Yeah, we do end up getting the pause. So if you do have that on a big issue, make sure you track it off. And we will be, again, in terms of just game state right now, it's the game state's pretty even. Both teams do have advantages in terms of the side laning. The top lane for the side of One Brain Boys is so strong with Built Diff Boy having that first item already completed, while the bot lane for the side of Elventus is super strong. I want to see how they transition that into the mid game fights. Something you mentioned that has already come into play is Professor Claps not having that Q evolve, kind of leading to like a lack of damage, especially whenever he does get these side lane pickoffs. So again, there's a lot going on. The game is super even, so it can kind of swing both ways. And I want to see how both teams kind of use the lead in these different lanes to kind of break open the mid game state.
Yeah, just a little bit of tips for all of you guys in chat who are wanting to learn Kha'Zix. This comes from my Diamond Master tier Kha'Zix friend. You basically take Q Evolve basically every time in every normal game. In a team fight heavy game, oh, we get the reconnect, but in a team fight heavy game where you know that you're just going to be fighting, you want to evolve your W because it'll get the slows and it deals the most damage to multiple targets. And then the E evolve is just if you want to make flashy plays.
Yeah, and if you're gonna play Kha'Zix with the W evolve first, there's a lot of champions that are kind of better for that in terms of just the slowing and the constant utility of that Kha'Zix W evolve. That Q evolve is just a lot better. We saw it in that bot lane. We got onto Johnny Esports, but just wasn't able to finish him off because even with the isolation, he just didn't deal enough damage just straight through to kill an AD carry. And that's kind of the real lack that Kha'Zix has at the moment.
Exactly. Also, not having that first item, maybe building towards the Prowler's Claw, maybe building towards Duskblade. You never know because they build out of the same items. We are getting unpaused right now. Next Drake is going to be up in 3 minutes, and it's going to be an Ocean Soul this game.
Yeah, and Ocean Soul is really good for the side of Elventus with having a lot of these tanks that can kind of not really get bursted out really. Oh my god, that was a lot of damage from the side of Built Diff Boy. That is definitely one Built Diff Boy right there. With
Now
his,
that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, with his Night Harvester build, they are going to be looking to go for this Rift Herald here, but Elventus have the manpower to kind of contest it. This is looking rough. Sion.
Yep, Sion coming in on the flank. King's Entourage is just going to get caught out. The Enlarge going to be used. King's Entourage popping the ulti, but it's not going to enough. Shirley's Battle Song being used. Knots out here, taking up all this damage, but so is Warrior, guys. Rift Herald is going to be finished off by the side of Elventus.
Oh,
Taunt
they're going
and
for
landing
it.
onto Nempo. They are going for the kills right now. Nempo taking so much damage and they kill. Finally going to Atsumi. The Justice Punch is the Justice Escape. Rift Herald being dropped down mid lane, looking to grab this turret in the mid lane, which I mean is going to feel pretty good.
Yeah, I think they might just try to go for 2 turrets here, but again, that Rift Herald was pretty early from the side of Elventus, so they don't end up really getting too much with that advantage, but picking up the kills there was really strong, and something that we haven't even mentioned is just how strong Utsumi is on this Sion pick right now. 4-0-1, the highest CS for his team, 108 CS. He is so tanky. The amount of just utility that he provides for his team, basically just another tank, basically another solo laner that is put into this game. And you don't even mention the Senna, who's already at about 60 stacks on her souls as well. So this bot lane is so strong from the side of Elventus, and it's a problem that's really hard to deal with because there's not much tank cut on the side of One Brain Boys.
Yeah, you're going to have a little bit of lethality from the Senna, or Sivir, excuse me, but that's not really tank cut. You need something like a Black Cleaver. You need something like a Lord Doms.
Yeah, and we don't expect that to come in anytime soon because right now it's Red Sheeran is struggling to honestly kill really anything, so he needs to get as much damage as possible. He is going to be... Oh my god, Sion's going for it.
Sion going in. Red Sheeran is going to dash right in, but Flash is right out. Warrior guy missing the taunt. Here comes Built Diff Boy, but
Oh.
the quadruple knockup. The ulti coming out from King's Entourage, but just gets absolutely one-shot. Professor Claps stealing damage right now.
He's
Red
trying.
Share with the flash over the wall from Itsumi and the hero's entrance. Double kill going over to the Sivir though. Volibear is on a killing spree though, getting the kill onto Bread Sheeran. 2-1. 0-6 on this Galio, playing the support Galio to the max.
And a great engage by the side of Elventus as they got kind of the pincer onto Brett Shin, but he was able to buy so much time with the Lulu ult plus the cleanse plus the flash that he's kind of able to get away from all of it, and it's gonna give One Brain Boys positioning on this Ocean Dragon. They don't kill it too fast, but it doesn't look like they're gonna be able to interrupt at all. So this should just be Ocean Dragon for the side of One Brain Boys.
Oh, but here comes Knots.
coming
He's
in.
looking for something.
Oh no, he just gets
That's the
polyed.
polymorph. No! And the Sivir, the Senna does not hit the ulti coming out from Knots, but it's a 4v1 right now.
no.
But here comes the rest of the gang. Professor Claps got the kill into Nempo. The triple stun from the Echo, but Johnny Esports, goodbye, Johnny.
They pick up the dragon, but was it worth it, Chief? Was it worth it? They tried to get... Oh my god, he does so much damage. They tried to get out of the way, but it was just too late. The dragon was a little bit too slow. They do end up at least securing the dragon, but on the back end do end up losing 2 kills. And in terms of just that overall team fight, again, Brett Sheeran was able to buy so much time with just the elusiveness and how well he played that team fight out that Johnny Esports just got so much damage off onto a lot of these squishier members like Professor Claps, like Overrush, and it just ended up becoming a tank v tank fight at the end of it. And with Johnny Esports alive, they were able to kind of get positioning over that dragon. So good play by the side of One Brave Boys to kind of keep them alive. Even though they're down 6 kills, it's only about a 2.4k gold lead.
Yep, not too bad at the moment. You cannot underestimate a Mermana Sivir at the moment. Does quite a bit of damage having that lethality stick, as I like to call it.
Yeah, they... Oh, engage.
Ooh, Scion coming in from downtown. Not going to get anything out of it.
And it's a
Misses the
drive-by.
train. Yup.
He's just trying to get farmed really quickly. Don't even worry about him.
He's trying to get from side lane to mid lane very quickly, pushing out these waves very fast. Let's check how many stacks Itsumi has. 593, extra about 600 HP at the moment.
Yeah, that is a almost 3k health Scion with about 120 armor. He is very close to unkillable for a lot of these members. They do have positioning around this Baron. I wonder what One Brain Boys is kind of grouping all of their members for, because again, they're leaving a lot of farm on that bot lane. There's nobody responding to Knots at all.
Yeah, no one
Oh,
responding.
they're going for it.
They're going for it, the flash engage, but the cask does land. The ultimate hero's entrance coming in. Warrior guy trying to get out, but without this Volibear there to tank, you got nothing. And Utsuni not in any position to tank. And large was being used on this Gragas, and that is just wow. The flash engage is just wow.
It was a good flash engage, but my biggest problem is what was it for? When you can't turn kills like that into objectives, it kind of just becomes a useless kill. You know what I'm saying? Like they get the pick off onto Senna, but they're not able to turn it into anything. They don't even get the mid lane outer tower. So it is a good kill, but in this next couple minutes where Built Dip Boy doesn't have the flash, it feels like One Brain Boy is just a lot further behind, and they're trying to guess to bait out the Baron, but it doesn't look like anyone's gonna bite here because they do have a ward in the pit from the side of Elventus.
Yep, no Baron going to be taken now. Next Drake being up in 2 minutes. This could be make or break time. Knots trying his best just to clear out this way, being a level above the Red Sheeran, but Built Diff Boy said, you know what? I don't care about all this team fight garbage. I'm gonna go split push.
Yeah, in terms of just overall like playmaking, I have to give it to Built Diff Boy, getting a lot. Like, he played lane out super well, keeping Knots down the entire time, and just good engages back to back to back. But again, I want to see what they do in this next Ocean Dragon fight that is coming up in a minute 22, because they don't have that instant engage that we saw right there with Built Diff Boys Gragas E flash combo. So without that combo, how do One Brain Boys want to play out this team fight? Because again, just running front to back, if it is a 5v5 with the entire team versus the entire team, I got to give it to the side of Elventus, because you have 3 tanks plus a Senna with close to hitting that Rage Blade mark, just hitting all the way on top of you.
Oh yeah, for sure. This Kha'Zix's hidden level.
Watch.
Ooh, that's a pretty good culling being used. Kha'Zix, I don't think
He's
he's
getting
above
caught.
Q anymore. Kha'Zix is getting caught here. The
Oh.
Shirelias gets him right out of it.
Super close to getting eat on by King's Entourage, and that could have been a chunk that kind of could have bought them that dragon that's coming up in 35 minutes. But we do have to watch Utsumi's Scion ulti here, because again, multiple times he's been able to get good Scion ultis into the backline of One Brain Boys, and he's looking for it again.
Yep, King's Entourage goes for the engage. Warrior got forced to flash away King's Entourage. And notes being taken on really low, center ultimate being used. And now Scion caught between a rock and a hard place. Gets polymorphed. Utsumi not good. Beautiful ultimate from Built Diff Boy. But now the passive, you gotta
Watch
be
the
worried
Echo,
about
watch
that.
the Echo.
The Echo looking for something. Does have the ultimate to use, but Professor Clap's got the kill on Tempo. It's just gonna get so low. Will get the ultimate, but does not get him enough. Red Sheeran though, saw the killing spree. Great apps to count to Overrush. Here comes Built Diff Boy. Now it's a 2 for 2.
And again, it always feels that was such a great turn from the side of One Brain Boys. You can tell that the shot calling is really on point, because they immediately, as 5 members, turn. Oh, he's dead.
Oh yeah, Professor Claps gets clapped. And Justice Punch does not hit. Johnny Esports popping the ultimate. Knots just gonna be taking out Johnny Esports, saying, "Give me that kill, give me that double kill."
Brain Boys have put together their 5th of a brain into this final masterpiece of a mental... I don't even know where I'm going with that analogy, but they are going to pick up the Ocean Dragon here. They are now 1 dragon away from Soul, and now for the first time in this game, it feels like they have a gold advantage. And what play from the side of One Brain Boys.
What a play indeed. I was going to ask you right before this fight, what does One Brain Boys need to do to come back? And that was what they needed to do to come back.
They had established the vision in that bot side jungle just enough to catch out Warrior Guy. When they go for the Warrior Guy pick, it kind of forces Utsumi to ulti into that backline. He's not able to land much besides just the knockup on Built Diff Boy. And then the entire team of One Brain Boys says, kill Scion right now. They immediately turn, kill the Scion off before anybody from Elventus can even try to respond. And at that point, the fight kind of just broke out into different pieces, and it felt like all of the key members on the side of One Brain Boys are winning their individual matchups in these big, sprawling team fights. Built Diff Boy is landing great Gragas ultimates and kind of zoning off a lot of these divers from the side of Elventus. Johnny Esports is managing to stay alive in a lot of these team fights. And what can I say about Bredshin besides, wow, time after time after time, this guy is getting damage off while playing it safe enough so that he doesn't die in these fights, because he is needed for One Brain Boys to succeed.
Yup, I just checked it, and Kha'Zix still has not taken Evolved Q. He has decided that Evolved E is a little bit better of a decision.
Again, I don't like it. I know you don't like it as well. I feel like it's just he's missing a lot of damage that he could, especially these team fights are like big and sprawl out because a lot of the people get separated by the Gragas cast, by just the amount of jump that they have. Oh,
yeah, calling in Johnny's ultimate being used, not going to get anything out of it. Yep. Ooh, and Built Diff Boy could be getting caught out here. Q coming out, but not going to hit anyone.
The big thing I want to watch as they all kind of group around the mid lane is that Built Diff Boy has his Flash E engage. If anybody on the side of of Elventus kind of overstep, he will immediately go for this combo. This is what they're doing. When they group like this means that Built Diff Boy is about to try to go for a Flash E engage, and they're going to try to force something right now because they don't feel like the silence are where they win.
But look at the wave clear coming out from the side of Elventus. Their wave clear is so huge. They could be looking for a Baron play here for One Brain Boys, though.
Yep, they
or
don't have the
bush.
Pit. They don't have the pit fully clear, so they know that the Death Bush is happening. The fear is that if Scion gets the ulti into that Death Bush, someone should have cleared that pit. This is, okay, now they're just starting it up, and they should look for the turn. This is where you go for the turn, because if you fight into the pit versus Scion, you will get wiped.
Scion going and splits up the team, but the Built Diff Boy gets the kill into Overrush. Utsumi not going to be where he needs to be, forced to flash out. Ulti coming out from King's Entourage, and the heroic entrance coming in, rocking up 4. Oh. And here comes Professor Claps, and Bolliver getting so much damage. The shutdown going over to Professor Claps. Taunt just barely misses. Warrior guy goes golden, but Bread Sheeran grabbing that double kill. Utsuki not in a good position right now, forced to maybe take an unfortunate back. There was a 3 for 3.
Oh my god, what a team fight from both of these teams. They're playing these team fights out. Again, it's just individual outplay after individual outplay. Great ultimate by Built Diff Boy. He gets into the backline and insta-kills off Senna. That's what I'm talking about. Anytime Built Diff Boy's flashes up, Senna needs to be very careful because he is the primary target for Built Diff Boy, and he keeps assassinating her. But on the back end of that, Warrior guy got a 4-man Galio ultimate knockup into a 4-man Scion ultimate knockup that looked like it was going to absolutely wipe the side of One Brain Boys. But again, Bread Sheeran, this guy is staying alive and outputting as much damage as this man can. There's only so much that his hands can do, but he is just trying to do as much as possible, is able to live and kill off 2 members from the side of Elventus, and the team fights ends up going 3 for 3. And the best part is Ocean Dragon is up in 48 seconds. We will see another one of those fights very soon.
Oh yeah, I feel that with this next Drake up, Elventus Slime needs to fight over this, otherwise they lose the soul. And right now, it doesn't even matter that One Brain Boys doesn't have that tanky of a front line. They just have more damage right now, that they can just dive and then just kill the Senna, kill the Kazakhs, who are the main damage sources for Elventus.
Just Built Diff Boy is just one-shotting the main damage dealer from the side of Elventus. And we talked about this. Professor Claps just doesn't have enough damage with the W and E evolve at the moment to assassinate and kind of get these resets off. So without Overrush being in these fights, there's not that much damage on the side of Elventus. They just lack... Oh, Scion!
Scion
They're just one
Drake
burning.
is
They're
just
just
going for
burning.
the Drake. Oh, the steal coming out from Red Team. Huge pile driver coming out from Knots. And that is 2 kills. Wow, Nempo just being jumped on. Professor Claps popping off, says this is where I need to be right now.
And this is what's the problem when it comes to One Brain Boys' late game decision making. They had the lead. At that point, you don't have to just opt for the 50-50. They go for the 50-50, and Professor Claps comes up with the biggest steal of the game. That saved the game for the side of Elventus, and they got such a huge combo off in that pit, absolutely annihilating Johnny Esports and Nempo instantly, and they end up picking up the second dragon. But the bigger thing is they're going to pick up the Baron here, and now the tides have turned completely into Elventus' favor. What a team fight from Elventus, and what a steal by Professor Claps.
They got the Drake, they got the kills, and they got the Baron. Now what are you going to do about it, One Brain Boys?
You gotta put your the fifth of the brains that all of these members possess. Put that into one person, and for me, that's Bread Sheeran. This guy is playing out of his mind. This guy is dealing a ton of damage, but that team fight was just so inopportune for him. He wasn't able to at all kind of turn and try to fight them. They just kind of committed to the Dragon Rush, and they ended up coming. Again, you go for the 50-50, and they came up tails. And it happens sometimes, but it's something you need to just kind of reset from. Just, again, stem the bleeding. I mentioned this in set number 1 as well. You don't want to opt in for these fights because they have, as well as the gold lead and the Baron buff, they also have the AP and AD that Baron provides. So in this situation, all you want to do is just give up as the least amount as possible, just hold on as much as possible, and you have a Sivir that is kind of scaling into hyper carry mode. She does have the 3 items at this point.
Oh yeah, completely agree. Senna gonna be pretty scary. Kazakh's gonna start to be pretty scary. Galio building more supportive, building that more tanky route. I think they're just looking to push down mid now for Elventus.
They're gonna just try to push down mid, but the big thing I want to watch, Built Diff Boy has flash up soon. This flash is up in 12 seconds. If Elventus overstep even a little bit, Overrush can just get comboed and insta-die, and if that happens, the push pretty much just goes to naught.
Yeah, but there goes that cask. That cask being on cooldown, not too long of a cooldown, but just as a little bit of a insurance policy for One Brain Boy.
But that's enough. Honestly, at that point, they use the cask and they kind of just dissuade the mid push right there. If the members of Elventus kind of want to like back off and reset, and that's all you need to do. Just wait out this Baron as much as possible. If you have to give up mid inner tower, that is completely fine. Losing like the 1,000 gold that you lose from mid inner tower to like the split up 5 members, it's not that big of a deal. And at this point, it looks like Elventus's Baron is kind of gonna go for not. They're not gonna get much off of it besides just the initial kills from the dragon fight.
Yeah, and that's just, it feels bad. But I mean, sometimes it is about having the making sure that the enemy doesn't get the Baron. That could have been their idea there, because if they lose one more fight without taking that Baron, that's gonna look bad for them.
But that's like my big thing about Elventus here is that when they get, it feels like whenever they get leads like this, they're not able to close as cleanly as the other teams we see around the league. And if you want to make that playoff push, not only do you have to beat the better teams above you, you have to beat these teams very cleanly. Like this is a 50-50. This is a game that could go either way 33 minutes into the game. And again, One Brain Boys hasn't been able to put together too many wins, but this looks like a good game for them.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Lead back in the favor of Elventus Lime at the moment. Everyone grabbing their backs. Stone Gargoyles on Volibear. Starting to hit some power spikes. Senna on this 3 items. Gonna start feeling pretty good.
And my big thing, again, Dragon is up in 35 seconds, but look at what is up. Built Diff Boy has his flash. Look for this guy to make the play. This guy is going to either make the play that wins them this fight, or he's going to try to go in and probably die.
Yep, Taunt is going to land. Woo! And the kill before the ultimate can go on King's Entourage. You have to give up this Drake now. You have no smite. It's going to be a 4v5. Ooh, but the flash engage and the knockup, but the center flash over the wall. Hey, Justice Punch and Hero's Entrance being used. Built Diff Boy went golden, and that's grabbing the kill. But the Spiral Driver almost grabbing the kill onto Professor Claps, but is going to get right out of it. Now Overrush starting up this Drake. It's going to be 3 Drakes to 3, 5k gold lead. Now Kha'Zix, Professor Claps just pushing down mid lane.
I think the game still holds, but they probably end up losing an inhibitor here. You do have the Sibber wave clear, plus Echo spawning in about a second, so they shouldn't be the game. But if they play it like that, it might end up being it. This should just be an inhibitor for the side of Elventus. A great team fight started up by Warrior Guy catching out King's Entourage, and that is not something that you can afford, especially this late into the game when you have this Ocean Soul win condition. Just a poor positioning by King's Entourage costs his team not only the dragon, but also inhibitor, and maybe a threatening onto number 2.
Yeah, we may be seeing a double inhib here, but instead they decide, you know what, that tier 2 turret is enough. We don't want to risk our lead at the moment. We got ourselves a pretty nice 7.5 or 6.5k gold lead. We're feeling all right.
Yep, they have the gold lead. Oh, cancel.
Ooh, yep. Utsumi, though, is pretty tanky. The cask is going to be used. Just so much little damage onto Utsumi. Look at how tanky he is. He's looking to turn this play with Volibear, maybe, but with Lucian here, with Bread Sheeran, they are dissuaded from doing so.
Yeah, after a while, Built Diff Boy was just like, I give up. I'm not going to kill this guy. I'm just going to leave. The big thing I did want to mention was that they did end up using the flash from Built Diff Boy onto Overrush, weren't able to instantly combo him like in the fights previously, and he was able to get away. The big thing is that Overrush now doesn't have flash as well, so if King's Entourage can try to get either a W combo or try to get right on top of the center, there is a chance of a kill. But for the side of One Brain Boys, the big member to watch is, again, Bread Sheeran. This guy has 3 items. They're going for it.
Yep, Sivir Ultimate is going to be used, but Warrior Guy here dissuading them. The double taunt is going to land, and Red Sheeran going to be caught out a little bit, while also this King's Entourage just barely getting that ultimate, but the pile drop from Nonsense is huge. And Johnny Esports being taken out. Built Diff Boy going golden, but not going to be enough. Overrush grabbing the kill on him, and Kha'Zix grabbing that finishing blow onto Echo. Now Red Sheeran caught out in between a pretty rough place as Professor Claps having that execution, having that Guardian Angel. That is probably just going to be game right there.
And at 37 minutes, it looks like they're just going to be wrapping it up. They are just kind of playing around and killing Nempo as well. But this should be game for the side of Elventus. It took them a decent amount, 37 minutes. But Again, a win is a win, and this is a 2-0. They definitely needed to try to make a playoff push at 37.5 minutes. It will be Elventus picking up the 2-0 over One Brain Boys with a 26-13 goal or kill lead.
Yep, we are done with all of our games for the night. What an exciting night of play. We are going to hop over to the analyst desk really quick just so we can get our interview set up. Don't go away.